Hi dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome to this daily edition of your Cricket Happening show with your host Ram. This is on a Saturday. As you know, the Cricket Happening show is pretty late on Saturday due to my office duties. Thank you for being very patient. So let's start the story on the T20 World Cup 2014 today. I know I'm not going to be covering in any greater detail, but we'll look at the salient features of the match. There were two matches being played today in Group 1. It was the 25th match and the 26th match. The 25th match was the first match which was played between New Zealand and Netherlands. Well, Netherlands, they didn't really put up a fight because New Zealand actually won the match in a very comfortable manner, one thought, by 6 wickets with 1 over prevailing. 1 over remaining, and that was the first match that was played. And then we had the 26th match which was happening, and that was a very important match as far as England were concerned against South Africa. And well, England are almost pushed out of the competition with only one match to go, and I think South Africa have definitely booked their place in the semi-finals. So they become the second team to actually book their place in the semi-finals. And England, well, they are almost out of the competition. It is pretty impossible for now. It's almost gone. I mean, England have already lost their chance. I'm sure they have to pack up their bags, but they still have one match against Netherlands which is remaining as a formality that is to be played. So let's look at the first match which was played, as I said, the 25th match which was played between Netherlands and New Zealand today. There was a lot of expectation because Netherlands the other day put up a good show against I thought it was South Africa, so it was there was a lot of expectations. Well, New Zealand were the ones who actually won the toss and inserted the Dutch batsman to go and have a Dutch batsman into the wicket. And well, the Dutch batsman really, I thought they still made a very decent score considering the New Zealand attack, and they got 151 for 4 on the board of 20 overs. In fact, they didn't have a good beginning. Myberg, as usual, started his pyrotechnics, contributing 16 of 23 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. But we definitely saw there was definitely a plan as far as the New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum is concerned, because I'm sure they would have studied some videos of Myberg, and he was not really given a lot of scoring opportunities in the scoring area, and that's what one precisely saw. And well, Netherlands, they lost the first wicket with Myberg out for 16 of the bowling of Bolt. That was the first wicket to go. After that, Wesley Baresi was an early victim out to the bowling of McClanahan for 4. He was caught behind, and Michael Swart also followed him to the pavilion with 26 runs of 26 of as many balls with 3 fours, and they were 81 for 3 in the 13th over. After that, it required a bit of an injection of runs, and that came in the form of the Dutch captain Peter Boren, who really showed a lot of class in playing that innings of 49 of just 35 balls with 7 fours and 1 6. There was a lot of finesse, there was a lot of innovation, and he was playing some beautiful strokes. In fact, as I said, he was playing a lot of innovative strokes. There was a reverse sweep. There was he used to take it from the off stump and put it through the leg side. So a lot of strokes. We saw a lot of innovation. As I said, there was a lot of finesse in his strokes, and that was all. One good thing about those strokes that Peter Boren, the Netherlands captain, played was all pretty well timed, and he contributed. He got into a very good partnership, and that was the reason the score started really. They needed that injection of runs, and that injection of runs came from the bat of the Dutch captain Peter Boren and Tom Cooper, who is always, he's a very experienced bloke, and well, he started off in a real flurry by hitting 4s and 6s, and finally, as you know, Tom Cooper has a very good strike rate in this T20 World Cup. He really likes to go for the bowling, and that's what he precisely did. So he gave some admirable company to Peter Boren in forming that partnership, which actually took the match. They were there till the 18th over, and the score was 141, and that was the time the Peter Boren, the Dutch captain, was dismissed by Mills for 49 of 35 balls with 7 fours and 1 6. Tom Cooper took this Netherlands score on to 151 with some big hitting, remaining unbeaten on 40 of 23 balls with 4 fours and 2 sixes. His brother Ben Cooper was not out on 1, and that was it as far as Netherlands were concerned. So they were 151 for 4 of their dig of 20 overs. And as far as the New Zealand bowling was concerned, Kyle Mills 3 overs 1 for 20, Trent Boult 1 for 25, Anderson was costly, 2 overs 1 for 19, Nathan McCullum bowling 4 overs 1 for 20, McClanahan 4 overs 1 for 29 was also costly, Williamson 1 over for 17, and that was the time when Peter Boren was in his element and Tom Cooper. Neesham 3 overs for 9 runs. As far as New Zealand were concerned, this particular target was not something that would have really really been a sort of a challenge for New Zealand. They definitely lost their opener Guptill early in the piece when Van der Gugten had him caught behind by Baresi for 9 of 15 balls with 1-4. Williamson contributed a very stroke-filled 29 of just 22 balls with 5 nicely hit boundaries, and then it was left to Brendan McCullum to come to the party and slam 65 runs of just 45 deliveries with 4 fours and 3 sixes to really make a statement saying that Netherlands won't be able to do much as far as the New Zealand batting is concerned, and McCullum did that precisely with a great degree of perfection. 65 45 balls, 4 fours and 3 sixes, and then Ross Taylor contributing 18 of 11 balls with 1 4 and 1 6, and finally Corey Anderson with a very quick fire 20 of 14 balls with 1 4 and 1 6, and Neesham not out on 7 got New Zealand to victory at 152 for 4. The bowling, well, Jamil the other day was the hero against South Africa, was really carted by the New Zealand batsman. Brendan McCullum went and actually started hitting him for boundaries and sixes. His 4 overs cost him 43 runs. Swart 1 over for 6 runs, never bowled again. 4 overs 3 for 30. Van der Gugten was, I would say, he was partly good. 4 overs no more than 3 for 30. Mudassir Bukhari none for 31 for him of his quota. Peter Boren bowled 2 overs for 10. Seelar 2 overs none for 16. Van Beek 2 over 1 for 14. Well, Brendan McCullum, the New Zealand captain, was named man of the match. Well, let's look at the other match. As I said, this was a very important match, and everybody were waiting for this particular match to happen, as England's fortunes were hinging on this one after pulling off that win against Sri Lanka. Today, well, England were the ones who actually had the luck of the dice. They won the toss and they decided to put South Africa in. Well, South Africa, they got to a good start, a very good start by South Africa. In fact, they occupied a half of the number of overs. Their openers, Hashim Amla, who played a very stroke-filled knock of 56 runs of just 37 deliveries with 6 fours and 2 sixes. Well, he was pretty much in his element today. He was really unveiling some very nice strokes, some wristy strokes, some caresses down the offside, and also some beautifully placed strokes which was played into the gaps which bisected the fielders and went into the fence. And Quinton de Kock also, I would say today Hashim Amla was the one who was doing all the scoring. Quinton de Kock decided to play a secondary role today, and finally Quinton de Kock's contribution was 29 runs of 33 balls with 2 fours, but Hashim Amla was a man in a hurry, and he really bludgeoned, I would say, the English attack by picking up runs. He went after Moeen Ali, the left-arm spinner. He went after Dernbash, and he collected 56 runs, very well made runs of 37 balls, 6 fours and 2 sixes, and that's what enabled South Africa to get a good start, I would say, a strong start there. With they're going at a clip of 9 runs per over. In 10.5 overs, they raised 90 runs before Quinton de Kock was sent to the pavilion as he tried to actually loft Treadwell, and he was stumped by Butler behind the stumps. Quinton de Kock, as I said, he contributed 29, 56 from Amla, and then after that today, as you know, Faf du Plessis was not there because of the over rate. He has been banned for this particular match, and today it was A.B. de Villiers who had actually taken on the captaincy reins, and what a knock from A.B. de Villiers. He really, I would say, carved this English attack to absolute shreds by making the fastest 50 hit by a South African in T20 World Cup, breaking the old record which was set by Mone van Wyk in 2011 against India. And A.B. de Villiers, look at his contribution. In fact, that was the reason South Africa put up the tallest score in this T20 World Cup 2014 of 196 for 5 of their 20 overs. And AB de Villiers, well, he was absolutely blasting the bowlers. And as you know, AB de Villiers, once he gets into his groove, well, he would literally toy with the bowlers. That was the reason, if you look at the bowling figures of Jared Dernbash, absolutely ruined beyond recognition. 3 overs cost him 44 runs. He leaked 26 runs of 1 over when he was bowling to de Villiers, and he had to really keep his hands on his forehead to say, well, what am I doing, in the sense, and you know, Dernbash is someone. Has been a lot of question marks, and I've always been wondering why Dernbash is always been given the death overs, because he really goes for plenty. And the 18th over, 26 runs were ransacked by AB de Villiers, and the way he hit it, well, let me tell you, look at that knock. It's like a glittering knock that he played, unbeaten 69 of just 28 deliveries, with 9 fours and 3 sixes smacked with absolute power and disdain. So AB de Villiers, that was a capital knock from him, and that's what enabled South Africa to put up the highest score in the T20 World Cup 2014 of 196 for 5. And well, no guesses, finally that score definitely proved a winning score, but not without a fight from England. England definitely fought hard. So AB de Villiers, as I said, really going after the English bowlers and venting his fury on them today. David Miller was out for 19 of 15 balls with 2 fours and 1 6. Duminy was run out for 5. Markle bowled by Bestman for 3. 196 for 5 was the final tally, thanks to AB de Villiers' knock, which I said was a very punishing knock. Let's look at the bowling figures. Moeen Ali 2 overs for 17. Jared Dernbash, as I said, was totally his innings was ruined beyond recognition by AB de Villiers, the South African captain. 3 overs, none for 44. Bestman 3 overs, 1 for 28. Jordan 3 overs cost him 30. Jordan was also someone where AB de Villiers really went after. Treadwell was 1 for 25. 4 overs, 1 for 33. Broad, I thought, a bit bold, but also Broad also had a sort of tap from AB de Villiers, and he was also really at a loss to know where exactly to bowl to de Villiers, because de Villiers, as I said, once he gets into his element, he's a difficult player to really stop, because there'll be runs would be just bleeding from his bat, and that's what precisely happened. And Broad had figures of 1 for 33. Bopara 2 overs, none for 13, and England came out to actually chase that score of 196 that was set by South Africa. Well, the hero of the last match, Alex Hales, walked in with the other aggressive opener, Michael Lumb. Well, they started doing what they wanted to with JP Duminy and Markle starting operations, and both of them were really taken for runs by Michael Lumb and Alex Hales, and things were going pretty well at a stage when South Africa were requiring a run rate of almost 10 runs, 9.80 runs per over. They were really slamming the South African bowling, and they had picked up 46 runs of 4.4 overs, with Lumb contributing 18, and then Parnell came in and started picking up the wickets. First he picked up the wicket of Lumb, who after making 18 of 14 balls with 1 4 and 2 6 was caught by Miller, and Alex Hales also departed in the same fashion, caught Miller, bowled Parnell for a very hard hit 38 of just 22 deliveries, 6 fours and 1 6. So that was a partnership, and then 73 for 2 at that time when Hales departed, and then Moeen Ali couldn't contribute much as he was caught behind, and Parnell was the man who actually did the damage early on for England. Early on, it damaged the England innings by picking up the top 3 wickets to bowl pretty well, I thought, and so that made the score 73 for 3 in the 8th over. After that, Eoin Morgan couldn't do much, could contribute only 14, and Imran Tahir, who has been having a great T20 World Cup, once again came to the fore and picked up 2 important wickets. First, he dismissed Eoin Morgan, 14 balls with 1 4, and then it was the turn of Joss Butler, who was really partnering Bopara well, and they were trying to actually keep the hunt going. At 105 for 4 was the time when Morgan departed. That was in the 13th over, and then suddenly there was some lot of runs being scored, and that was done by Butler in particular, who contributed 34 of 24 balls, with 2 4 and 1 6. But Imran Tahir picked up his wicket, and after that it was left to Ravi Bopara once again to really take charge of the proceedings along with the other batsmen who were to come, the lower order batsmen. Chris Jordan contributed 16 of 14 balls with 2 4s. Well, and then finally the equation was pretty high with Dale Steyn coming in to bowl the final over, and they required plenty of runs. But Bresnan was the man who actually, Ravi Bopara tried his best. He couldn't really get, he really couldn't get going against the ballers, in the sense he couldn't really slam them for sixes as he had promised. But Ravi Bopara just hit 1 6 and 3 4s. But as you know, when Dale Steyn is bowling, it is pretty difficult to deal with such a world-class bowler. And the other day also he showed against Sri Lanka, and once again here we saw Dale Steyn coming in and really first picking up the wicket of Ravi Bopara for 31 of 18 balls with 3 4s and 1 6. And then Tim Bresnan towards the end with almost more than 10 runs required. I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was he hit 2 6s in that over, and that was of Dale Steyn. So that was showing some real pluck from Bresnan to hit Dale Steyn. And Tim Bresnan, it was almost 17 runs, I suppose, in the final over, and it was too much to get. And Bresnan, even though he slammed sixes of Steyn to contribute an unbeaten 17 of 9 balls with 4 4s, with 1 4 and 2 6s. Broad was not out on 1. And well, what he could do is, at the most that Bresnan could do, is got the match pretty close to actually give South Africa a victory and an entry into the semi-final by 3 runs. So South Africa entering the semi-finals from being the first team from this group, that is Group 1, to enter the semi-finals. So congratulations to South Africa. And so England finished with 193 for 7 of their 20 overs. Let's have a look at the bowling card of the South Africans. Dumini, they didn't bowl later on, 2 overs for 18, and Markel bowled 2 overs for 19, and both of them didn't bowl this. They bowled when the openers were actually at the crease, when Alex Hales and Michael Lumb, but they went after them. Bjorn Hendricks was pretty costly. He was the man who was bowling, and Ravi Bopara actually hit a 6 of him. Bjorn Hendricks 4 overs, 1 for 50. Steyn, as I said, even though if you look at his figures, it doesn't look like Steyn-like figures. With 4 overs, he leaked 44 runs, but he picked up that very important wicket of Bopara in the final over, which really made a huge difference, because if Ravi Bopara would have been there, one does not know what would have gone through, because if you see the margin was not much. The margin was probably, it was only 3 runs. So you never know, that probably Ravi Bopara could have clinched it. So that was a very vital wicket that actually Dale Steyn took. So that was something which was pretty beneficial for South Africa in the end, as you know. And Parnell was the best bowler today. Moni Markel was kept out of the game after the other day he leaked a lot of runs. He was really kept out of the game, and they brought in Wayne Parnell, and Parnell really delivered the goods today. 4 overs, no more than 3 for 31. Imran Tahir continued to impress, and as I said, he is having a very nice T20 World Cup. He has been picking up wickets in a very consistent manner, and today too he picked up the very important wicket of Jan Morgan, which was very important. 4 overs, no more than 2 for 27 for him. And player of the match, well, no prizes for guessing. A.B. de Villiers, the captain, the acting captain, the captain of South Africa for this particular match, picking up the man of the match award for his punishing innings. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that concludes my late cricket happening show on this Saturday. Hope you all liked it. Thanks for your company as always. Your host Ram will be there tomorrow. You all know that there are 2 matches coming up, very crucial matches. Not crucial matches for India. They are already into the semi-finals. For Australia, it's a must-win game tomorrow. If Australia don't win against India, I think it will be curtains for them. But also, Australia will be keeping an eye on the Pakistan-Bangladesh match which is happening. And Australia will be hoping that Bangladesh beat Pakistan. But we all know that how strong Pakistan is. And so it is a very interesting situation for India. India is the only team which is going to really relax, and probably we are going to see some experimentation coming tomorrow. That is the second game which is going to be played. So Australia will definitely have a chance of watching the West Indies the Pakistan Bangladesh match, and they would be really praying that Bangladesh win against Pakistan, because only then Australia really the chances brighten for Australia. So but for India, they have nothing to worry, as they are already into the semi-finals. But all in all, those will be the two matches which will be played, and your host Ram would be there to cover both the matches as usual on a Sunday. So that really concludes my Cricket Happening show for today, this late Cricket Happening show on Saturday. Your host Ram would like to bid all the dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings a very good night. Thank you.